O God, on behalf of your humble servant, we stand before you and offer our most sincere and humble prayer to you. You who are the Lord of all creation, the one and only God, and our Father in heaven. You who live and breathe at this very moment in heaven, that shines gloriously within the center of the consciousness of each one of us. O God, 3 years have already passed since the time we went forward as World Church of Messiah in order to serve in the true salvation that Meishu Sama desires. Today, on this auspicious day, we gather here to hold the beginning of spring service and to express our gratitude to God for graciously welcoming us and all creation into your work of new creation. O God, allow us to return to you the glory of your work through the name of Messiah. O God, allow us to walk our path of faith according to the truth revealed to us through Meishu Sama and Jesus, the truth that we were sent to earth to serve in the divine will of creation, that is for us to return to heaven, that exists within us, for all creation to be revived, and for all human beings to be born anew as children of God. O God, why did you construct the sacred grounds here on earth through Meishu Sama and have him serve in that work with so much passion and effort, the sacred grounds that are the projection of your heaven? O God, we know now that it was for us to recall that there is a place we should return to heaven. Inheriting the work of Meishu Sama and your will, O God, we announced that we are initiating the process of the construction of World Church of Messiah's sacred grounds here on earth. O God, the time has come with all your strength, and as one, allow us to serve and dedicate ourselves in the construction of the holy sanctuary of the Messiah, a true sacred ground that is pure and radiant, and that is governed by you. O God, we pledge to convey the joy of serving in the work of salvation that is filled with hope and glory to as many people as possible. June 15 of this year, O God, marks the 1-year anniversary of the grand ceremony to celebrate the birth of the Messiah. On this day, O God, allow us to hold the birth of the Messiah service in order for all of us to praise you and respond to the will of Meishu Sama, who wanted to save the whole of humanity by working in concert with Christians. Our God, may all glory, authority, and blessing be forever yours, for you and you only are the King forever and ever. Amen.
Greeting by Horacio Milani.
Good morning. How are you? Welcome efforts to learn Meishu-sama's faith through the guidances of Kyosho-sama. In Japan today, actually yesterday was in Japan, the service for the beginning of spring was held, and we received a wonderful prayer from Kyosho-sama for our service today. I hope all of you prayed in your heart, united in the same solemn with Kyosho-sama while I was conducting the opening prayer. Today, Masaki-sama's message made me very emotive so many times, and I want to go through a few points. The first point for me that is really beautiful to see is how humble Masaki-sama was in calling Reverend Watanabe his own mentor. Even the whole church is having Masaki-sama as our fifth spiritual leader, as a future spiritual leader of the church. But you could see the respect and how much he loved Reverend Watanabe in his words, and calling him as his mentor. So it's very beautiful to see those words from Masaki-sama. And it was so interesting to me to see also that when Masaki-sama asked to Kyosho-sama that he wanted to serve God and Meishu-sama through serving also to Kyosho-sama, and then the first thing that Kyosho-sama said was, let's ask the permission of the third spiritual leader. When Kyosho-sama said that, he was already the Kyosho-sama of the church. If he was basing his wishes just on himself, he wouldn't even ask the permission for the third spiritual leader. But it's so beautiful too to see this attitude of Kyosho-sama in saying, no, I will not decide by myself. I will ask the permission of the third spiritual leader first, which was Meishu-sama's daughter. And after that, he also said, then once you have the permission of the third spiritual leader, I want you to see Reverend Watanabe. So how much Kyosho-sama was also showing Masaki-sama, which is his son, the importance of the third spiritual leader and the importance of Reverend Watanabe on our church as well. And after that, Sandai-sama also told Reverend to Kyosho-sama for Reverend Watanabe to boil and bake him as he wishes. It will be a good trade to Masaki-sama. So those beautiful words from the third Kyosho-sama and the fourth Kyosho-sama really showing the importance of this Kyoshu throne on our church. I believe for me they are very important points on Masaki-sama's message today. And was very interesting when Masaki-sama told that Reverend Watanabe took from his pockets a bunch of papers, and those papers were the last words of Kyosho-sama on the first meeting that they were having together. So why do you think that Reverend Watanabe had his Kyosho-sama's words in his pocket. Do you think it was coincidence? Or do you think he planned that he was meeting Masaki-sama and he had that to give to him? In my heart, I truly believe that Reverend Watanabe was always like that. Because he asked all of us to do the same. I used to always have the Kyosho-sama's words in my pocket too, reading so many times to try to understand. Because most of the times that we receive Kyosho-sama's words, they are still too high. The level of Kyosho-sama's words are not yet on the level of our full comprehension as a human being. And we need a lot of time, we need a lot of effort to try to read it. And Reverend Watanabe told him, I already read 10 times, and you should do so. So how many times do you think I read and heard this video of Masaki-sama before talking to you today? I already heard more than 20 times, not just 10 times. I already listened and listened and listened. Every time I listened, I was remembering different episodes with Reverend Watanabe. And I was feeling so truthful what Masaki-san was telling to you. And I know that each of those words of Masaki-san were very true, because Reverend Watanabe used to train all of us in the same way. Reverend Watanabe used to tell us to serve, and he always used to tell us that we needed to put the others in first plan, not just putting ourselves as the main people, not just to follow just what we wanted, but to try to serve people and see what they wanted, put what they wanted in first plan. I thought also another very important point that Masaki-sama shared with us is the respect to Kyosho-sama. And Reverend Watanabe was kind of telling Masaki-sama, don't take Kyosho-sama for granted just because he is your father. From today, you must receive Kyosho-sama not as your father, but as Kyosho-sama. So on the first meeting of them, Reverend Watanabe passed so many different important points to Masaki-sama. And towards the end of the meeting, when Reverend Watanabe said to Masaki-sama that he wanted to tell him something, I can imagine how difficult was Masaki-sama to say his yes decision to Reverend Watanabe. Reverend Watanabe asked him, today make a firm decision in your heart that you will be Kyosho of this church in the future. Can you imagine how heavy that was for him when he heard those words? And also, Reverend Watanabe said, from today, you must see, hear, and experience everything with this decision firmly set in your mind. Without making this decision, everything you are going to experience will be a waste. So, this message also made me remember something very special that Reverend Watanabe taught me as well. When I was asking to be sent to a country that was an English-speaking language, was around 28 years old at that time. And I already finished. I was already an Easter in Japan. I already completed close to 8 years, like 7 years and a half staying in Japan. And then I was asking them, please send me to a country that is doing the diffusion of our church in English, and I want to learn English for the next step of my training. And at that time too, Reverend Watanabe told me, if you go, you need to go with the will to bury your bones there. You cannot just go thinking that you always can come back and you always can just go back in history. If you go to a mission, you have to go fully 100% with the responsibility that you're going to bury your bones there. And then he asked me on that day too, are you ready to take this kind of responsibility? And I was like, oh my God, I never thought about, I was just thinking about coming for a year. I was not thinking of being in Australia for so long. I just thought I would come, go back. At that time also, they were thinking to send me to USA. They were not thinking for me to stay in Australia. But somehow Meishu Sama left me here for a little bit longer than I expected as well. So I could feel like how much would be so strong those words to Masaaki Sama at that time when he was only 24 years old. And about this, making this decision in our heart, sometimes we have very big, difficult decisions to make in our life. I believe all of us, members of the World Church of Messiah, we made a very big decision as a member, and we decided to continue our faith based on Kyoshu-sama's guidances and in a faith centered in Kyoshu-sama. And I believe that decision that we made need to be a very strong and sincere decision as well, because that will change everything, all our faith from now on, all what we are going to experience. If we always receive the Kyoshu-sama's guidance, but in our heart we didn't make yet a clear decision in what we want to follow, the guidance will not go into our soul 100%. I believe we will be able just to accept a little bit of the guidance, not everything. But if we have this firm decision inside of our hearts that we really want to follow Meishu-sama through Kyoshu-sama, through the guidances of our spiritual leader, then we need to really have this strong decision in our heart and following the footsteps of Meishu-sama in the way that the spiritual leader is guiding us. There's so many points in the speech today, and so many episodes that Masaaki-sama was reporting to us that are very important and touching for me. Even when Masaaki-sama was saying about the way he was trained to serve Reverend Watanabe. So when Reverend Watanabe put his hand in the pocket, it's because he was going to take the cigarettes and going to smoke, so he needed to prepare the ashtray. So I remember that we were trained in the same way. Every time that Reverend Watanabe was close to us, we would need to prepare the ashtray. We would go there with the matches as well to light up his cigarette. The small things, very small gestures, but showing that we were paying attention on his moves, on what he wanted, how we could serve more. Are we bringing just the ashtray, or we're offering a little coffee after as well, because he loved to drink a little coffee while he was smoking a cigarette. So many small things that we were trained to serve while we were together with Reverend Watanabe. And also I remember the same thing. I remember when Reverend Watanabe wanted to write something, we definitely needed to be carrying a white paper and some pencil with us, or some pen, for Reverend Watanabe to be able to take notes and write. So we were always carrying something with us. And not only we were caring for Reverend Watanabe as well, but how many guidances he was giving to us. Not really just willingly to give to us, but sometimes I was sharing the same table with Reverend Watanabe, and he was giving some guidance to other ministers, and he was giving guidance to other people. But those guidance were so precious for me that I was taking notes too. So I was always ready to take notes of what he was talking. And all Meishu Sama's disciples, they were in the same way. All Meishu Sama's disciples, many of the teachings we have today were thanks to those disciples that was always writing what Meishu Sama was saying while Meishu Sama was alive. So the two of them, Masaki Sama and Reverend Watanabe, they had so many opportunities together, and I believe that Masaki Sama truly passed his love and his devotion to Meishu Sama and to Kyosho Sama as well through this video that we're watching today. And I don't know if I already spoke today, but something that was very touching for me as well is that Reverend Watanabe always said as well for us, told us as well, that we were just secretary of Reverend Watanabe. And he always told us the same thing. I served to the third spiritual leader and to fourth spiritual leader. And his father was serving Meishu Sama and the second spiritual leader and the third. So all those things are very true that Reverend Watanabe always told us. And one of the most important things that Reverend Watanabe always taught us was to put not myself first, and always paying attention of what the other people are wishing. I will read a little bit of Masaki Sama's words for you. Through Reverend Watanabe Sensei, I was able to learn the importance of serving God, the importance of leaving your wishes behind and living for the wishes of others, the wish of God. And the key training is to understand that in order to serve God, you have to do so through serving someone in the physical world. Kyosho Sama is the only exception, since he is the one who serves the invisible, representing all of us. So that point in the video for me was very important for us to learn. Because all of us, we always think that because we come to the church and because we are trying to help someone, we are serving those people. But are we serving God through them? Are we truly serving God? Or are we just doing what we want? And one point that he said here, that Kyosho-sama is an exception, that he is already serving the invisible, representing all of us. So Kyosho-sama is definitely serving Meisho-sama and serving God. And whatever that Kyosho-sama is saying and is speaking is the voice of Meisho-sama. So that point in this video, I want all of you to try to go back to the video and try to watch again and try to get that point for yourself. Because I believe that that point, that the voice of Kyosho-sama is the voice of Meisho-sama, and through our serve to other people, we are serving God. I believe these points are very important for all of us to learn. And close to the end of the video, there is a point that Masaki-sama was talking about Reverend Watanabe. I already said today that his father was serving the Nidai-sama and Sandai-sama and Meisho-sama. And I believe that Reverend Watanabe also, he just didn't serve not just the third and the fourth spiritual leader, but while he was teaching the fifth spiritual leader to Masaki-sama, he was serving him as well. I don't believe that in the heart of Masaki-sama, in the heart of Reverend Watanabe, never Reverend Watanabe was holding the position of Masaki-sama below him. Of course, he was teaching as a senior reverend of the church, but in Reverend Watanabe's heart, I believe he was serving the fifth spiritual leader as well. I don't believe that he was just considering that he was the teacher and Masaki-sama needed to just listen to him and learn. I know how deep in his heart Reverend Watanabe was really holding Masaki-sama in a spiritual level that is the same as our future Kyosho-sama as well. So all those points that that Masaki-sama passed to us today in the video, I believe for me, those were the most important points for me as well, that I chose to walk together with Kyosho-sama in our new church. So those points are points that I probably can never go back in my life as well. For me, it's impossible to say that we will follow Meisho-sama and follow Meisho-sama's faith if I am not following Kyosho-sama. For me, that's something that doesn't exist. We are not able to do follow Meisho-sama if we are not really considering everything that Meisho-sama is bringing to us through the mouth of Kyosho-sama. Even if we believe that our ancestors manifest their wishes inside of us, the ancestors of Kyosho-sama is Meisho-sama, Nidai-sama, and Sandai-sama. How come those three ancestors are not manifesting their wishes inside of Kyosho-sama? For me, this is impossible to happen. For me, I truly believe that every word that Kyosho-sama is speaking, it is a true teaching of Meisho-sama for us to try to inherit and try to learn. So those are the points that I wanted to is when we serve other people. So when we try to serve someone, before doing so, before trying to help someone, we need to love and respect that person first. If we love and respect that person that we really want to help, before trying to help them, I believe we can truly help them, making their wishes be more important than what I want. And this is how I want to ask all the members. So let's serve with that wish. Let's try to help the other people in our close to us with this kind of heart, that we are doing our best to fulfill their wishes. But at the same time, because we are serving God and Meshe Sama, we need to be trying to teach at the same time of loving them and respecting them. We need to teach what God and Meshe Sama prepared for them. Not just teach what is in my heart. So I believe this is a very important point that all of us need to strive from now on to serve God and Meshe Sama. And also, I was talking to a member probably last week, I think, and this member was asking to me, before we used to go to the church because we wanted to receive joy, or before we used to go to someone's member's house because we wanted to exchange joy. Now we don't have joy anymore, so what we should do? And I was teaching this member, first of all, don't say that we don't have joy anymore, because this is a mistaken way of saying. Joy has evolved to a different level. It's not that we don't have, we just don't raise the hand. But through our sowing, through the sowing of receiving the light of God, 24 hours, through the sowing that God is really manifesting His wishes in our heart 24 hours. This sowing in itself is already a joy. So we just need to practice that. The way Kosher Sama taught us, through our inspiration, we are receiving the light of God. Through exhaling our breath, we are returning everything that is in our heart to God. We are returning everything that is in humanity's heart to God. So we need to do this practice with other people. When we come to the church, it's the same thing. We need to pray with the same song. We need to listen to the members that are here. We need to listen to people and pray together and work through the song. I believe in that way we will be doing our practice of faith in the same way as before. We can do our meetings to meet with the members, and instead of just trying to heal each other, try to pass on energy to each other, we can accept God together in our heart. We can truly pray together, and through the respiration, with the song that Kosher Sama is teaching us, we can practice our faith together in a different way as before, but we can practice with the same heart of serving people. So this feeling of serving, this feeling of helping our community cannot die. Need to be the same as before. This feeling of wanting to help, of wanting to bring God and Meshe Sama into people's life. This feeling needs to be the same. So I asked this member, let's practice from now on in this way. And thank God we were able to practice together this song, and the member could understand. And I believe from now on, this person will be able to act more actively in the work of Meishu Sama, trying to help their friends around as well. Today's service, we had this New Year's resolution form that I already passed to all of you. It's at the church desk in the front. So please, if all of you can fill up, and all those points that are here is just like some examples of how we can fulfill our practices. So I hope that all of you can report to God and Meishu Sama in writing, and then also we can pray together and ask for Meishu Sama to fulfill his wishes inside of all of you. Before finishing, I want to bring you some words that Kyosho Sama told us, that is to help us on our practice to acknowledge God inside of us 24 hours a day. Kyosho Sama said, God is manifested strongly inside of all of us. Remember, our true identity is God Himself. God's light envelops everyone and everything in God's very own love. All the time and any time, without discrimination as to whom, whether a miracle happens or not, whether an illness is healed or not, whatever your hand is raised or not. It is this light that is within us. God is always shining His light upon us. God is always facing us and is ministering joy to us. So that's how Kyosho Sama asked all of us to have this song and this kind of heart from now on, and that we can all also continue with this strong song, helping all the community around us. Thank you very much, and I hope God and Meishu Sama will materialize His wishes inside of all of you. In the name of Messiah, one with Meishu Sama, I want to surrender all your heart, all your wishes, and the wishes of your ancestors, and all humanity to God, and finalize the service today. Thank you very much.